This is our official E3 episode, everybody, so welcome. I am one of your hosts, Chris. Joining me is Ricky, as usual.
What's going on, everybody?
And we have two special guests today. We have joining us Billy from Ctrl+C.
Hey, guys.
This is what he looks like, guys. See?
Oh, man.
Just like Rick and Morty.
He is not animated.
He should be, though. That'd be interesting.
What?
But talking about animation, we also have Brandon TaoFury joining us today as well.
What's going on, guys?
All right, guys. So if you're brand new to Gaming Dad 101, remember that Gaming Dad 101 goes live. You know, I need to change the words for that. If you're brand new to Gaming Dad 101, remember. How are they going to remember? They're brand new.
True that.
That's true.
All right, so bad grammar check. So if you're brand new to Gaming Dad 101, we go on tangents here too, just like in Ctrl+C. Yes, Billy.
Yeah.
So we go live each and every single Wednesday as a podcast, and then we go live each and every single Friday as a video on YouTube. So make sure to go ahead, if you join us there on YouTube, subscribe. Make sure you hit the little bell so you check out anytime we get something new. Now, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to our E3 episode.
What's
Ricky,
up?
how's it going, brother?
Fabulous. I am back at work again.
All right.
When I mean with back at work, I'm back at work playing video games.
All right. So, video games is the theme of this week and these upcoming weeks right now. This is basically like gamer Christmas, essentially. Yeah. So, what have you been playing? Let's start with that.
For the very first time, I am actually playing an MMO. And I decided
You're
to...
so excited about this game.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
That's right, man. I'm excited.
Go for it.
No, I'm playing an MMO for the very first time. The one that I decided to go with, I know there's a bunch out there, is Elder Scrolls Online.
Good choice.
Reason being is, one, I'm a dad, so I'm not looking to spend any monthly subscription on it.
Yeah,
good.
That is
and I can just play this game at my own leisure, at my own time, so I'm not rushed to try.
I mean, Elder Scrolls Online has a huge following anyways. It's like there's a lot of different communities on Discord.
No, it does. I'm enjoying the game right now.
Don't worry. I'm not going to say anything.
Here's the thing. No, the problem is, I know, Brandon's not a fan of the game, but I think you're not a fan of the game because you're used to the regular core games. You're used to like the Elder Scrolls series as opposed to a game that's Elder Scrolls kind of and then online.
Yes and no, because when I first got into Morrowind, I was like, man, for it to be this massive, I was hoping it would be online. And when it actually did, plenty of years later, all of a sudden it was just like, oh, all these technicalities and these bugs and these glitches, and I'm just like, this is not the Bethesda's touch. I know.
I was one of those people that was day one Elder Scrolls Online, and I was like, this isn't for me. It doesn't feel like Elder Scrolls.
Nope, not at all. And
Dude, it feels like Elder Scrolls Light. But you know what? Like the reason I liked it, and here's why. I picked up The Witcher because I wanted to play Elder Scrolls.
It's a great game.
It's a great game, don't get me wrong, but it didn't scratch the Elder Scrolls itch. But then I went to Elder Scrolls Online, and that did, because even though it's not a real it is a real Elder Scrolls game, but even though it's not a core Elder Scrolls game, it wasn't... It was still Elder Scrolls. It still had the basis of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it still had the foundation. So,
well, have you guys tried it ever since it first came out back in 2015?
That's the other thing. They continue to update the hell out of this game.
I have a tendency to be like, look, if it's broke, don't take like a couple of years to actually get it fixed. It was kind of like me with No Man's Sky.
Oh, dude, come on. You got to give No Man's Sky a break.
But at the end of the day, I actually went back to No Man's Sky. I was
there
like,
you go.
Finally? It's like, but now I need people to play, and that's the problem.
See, it's like, just because it's broken doesn't mean it's bad. Like, as far as MMOs are concerned, I'm Final Fantasy XIV. And the original core Final Fantasy XIV was absolutely broken to where they just basically had to trash the entire game and came out with Final Fantasy XIV 2.0, Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn.
Yep, and it is so much better with their samurai class, and which apparently is broken, but I'm like, okay.
It's not broken.
It
just doesn't.
Very good.
It's not. It doesn't have utility. It's basically melee black mage, which, you know, bring it to the group if you want, but nobody gives a fuck.
Speaking of which, that reminds me. First of all, two things. That's why we invited them on this episode. They're very critical and they're very knowledgeable. But two, and this is the very core one that I put a shot and said at the very beginning of the episode. This is a special episode. Yep. You guys know that on certain occasions we have special episodes where we warn you we are likely going to curse. Now, these two are on this episode, so there will be cursing for sure.
We're the buns of cursing. We're gonna make that taste of delicious.
Like, I made an effort to remember prior to the podcast recording that I can't, and I just did 5 minutes in.
If you've ever listened to Ctrl+C, you're already familiar with Billy and his antics. Ctrl+C gets weird. So
it's really weird, and I like it.
Let's go ahead and go into some housekeeping now. We are going to let you guys know, as an apology for the episode that we missed last time, and as an apology for me for messing up the video for YouTube while Ricky was on vacation, Ricky and I came up with an idea. So we're going to be we're going to do some E3 coverage. Now, what does that mean? It means that next week there will not be a regular podcast episode on Wednesday. That's not going to happen. However, this is what is going to happen. We are going to be doing live reactions to the Microsoft conference on Sunday, June 9th, 4 p.m. streaming. We're going to probably start streaming, I would likely think around 3:30.
Something around that.
Something around that time. Keep an eye out on our Facebook and keep an eye out over on our Twitter as well. We're also going to go ahead and stream the live reactions to the Bethesda conference on Sunday as well at 8:30 p.m. We'll probably go live somewhere around 8 p.m. Again, we'll be letting you guys know the times once we're there. Now, we are still going to do reactions to the Square Enix conference, the Ubisoft conference, the Nintendo Direct, and we're most likely going to be covering the kind of funny indie presentation that's also going to be taking place on the 10th. But those are not going to be live, unfortunately, because of our day jobs. We're not able to do live reactions to those, but we are going to do post-recorded reactions. We're not going to watch them live. We're going to watch them as we're going to record it, so our reaction can be genuine. So
can't wait.
That is going to be our E3 coverage for this weekend. Again, no episode next Wednesday. We're going to be posting the episodes as a video. We're going to post it as a podcast.
We're going to have multiple shows going on.
Yeah,
so.
but there's going to come out at different times and different schedules, but that's what you can expect. They will go live on the days that we're recorded because we'll go ahead and render those and put those. So that is the E3 schedule that we are going to be having. And with that, let's go ahead and get into the first segment of the show. And tell us, Ricky, every week, the reasons why we're broke.
This week it's again. I'm actually pretty proud about this game so far. We have the Elder Scrolls Online's Elseworlds chapter expansion coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. We have Persona Q2 New Cinema Liberated coming out for the 3DS. Oh my god, I still can't believe things for 3DS is still coming out.
This is the last of it, dude. It's got to be the last of it.
I don't know. That's what we saw last time.
Well, I'm telling you that. That's gonna Prediction number one on this episode. Prediction number one on this episode. There will not be a 3DS title announced at E3.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's because when you look at the direct,
this is including the smaller titles. You know, the ones that they like. Yeah.
Because for Nintendo Direct, they mostly focused on Switch stuff, and normally it's getting to the end of its life cycle. It's been out for almost 10 years now, so it's understandable if they're just going to start cutting it down, because now the reason why I'm saying that it's going to be dead is because the DS games and the 3DS games surprisingly are now starting to go up in retro. So prices are going up. So it's that's cool. Like one of my copies that was like $8, Blue Dragon Awakened Shadow. I think it was $8 for the longest time. Now it's almost $80.
Wow.
For a DS game. I'm just so I was like, oh, I'm glad
these are games that only came out not even 15 years ago?
Not even
not even that. 10 years ago.
Yeah, that one about 10 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's starting to go up high. I don't like that. That's why I'm broke.
That's why we need the section.
Exactly right. Moving from that one, we have Trail Saves the Universe coming out for the PC on June the 4th. And then we also have Warhammer Chaos Bane coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. And that is basically it for this week.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the news now. We got a couple of non-E3 related news that we're going to go ahead and cover really quickly. Guys, if you have any opinion on these, I really would love to hear it. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Pokemon presentation this week. Did you guys watch that? I know you most likely did not because you're not a fan of Pokemon. But Brandon, did you finally see it after I told you?
No, I still didn't see it because I was just like, I'm sorry. I believe all the memes just made it for itself. I sleep.
Wait, is there a Pokemon game coming out for Switch?
There's a there's Pokemon Sword and Shield that they're covering, and there's a Nintendo Direct, ironically enough, today on Wednesday. So sadly we are, and I mean today, Wednesday, when the episode goes live. Clearly we're recording this on Tuesday. But of course we're not going to be able to cover that right away. We'll probably talk about that next time. But they did announce they are going to talk more about Pokemon Sword and Shield for the Switch. But here's the thing, and like the conference, I promise you, this is what happened at one point. Some guy comes out and he goes, "Hi, this is my name. As long as everybody votes on Monday, I am going to be the president of this department. So let's hope that goes well."
Jesus.
Okay.
All right.
Alrighty.
So it was. If you haven't watched that Pokemon conference, please do. It is the funniest, worst conference in the world. There were so. It's weird. It's very weird.
It is taking it as number one because a couple of years ago with Tokyo Game Show, their presentations were pretty bad. But it's also because they also had Suda51, who usually likes to fly off the cusp.
Nice.
So the guy's like, I don't know what he's saying. I'm like, I caught that. He said that.
So let's go ahead.
crazy.
The first thing announced: a new Detective Pikachu coming to the Switch. Interested? Care? Don't care?
Never played the first one.
I
So
like
don't
the
know.
movie. It's just
You like
like,
the movie?
Did you see it?
I did.
I haven't seen
I'm not
it yet.
familiar with either.
No, I figured.
The game was not bad. The voice acting was just, it's corny. It's a Pokemon game. But, you know, I'd rather watch the movie, which I did. You know, just like, absolutely.
Okay.
And then, in turn, to make it even weirder, they announced a new game, very much like Pokemon Go, except this one's the complete opposite. It's Pokemon Sleep.
Pokemon Go Sleep.
That's right.
That's why I looked at you, because I wanted to see your face as I announced it, because I know that you were not aware of this, and I wanted to see that priceless reaction. If you didn't
what's
see his
that?
face, rewind 20 seconds and look at it.
What is that?
So far, what we know, it's a game that tracks your sleep pattern to make sure that you're getting healthy sleep. And
So it's a
in
turn-
turn-
sleep app?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. You catch Pokemon by sleeping.
Don't know. What
Oh, wow.
He's speechless.
Oh, wow. He's definitely
I
not.
don't know what to say.
Wow.
I feel like South Park knew this was going to happen like 2 decades ago with that Pokemon,
Chimpokemon. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. Pokemon.
where they knew that people were going to get so addicted to this game that every facet of their life was going to have it implemented in some way.
Absolutely. I hope that they
Whether
actually,
you're awake, whether you're walking around with Pokemon Go, whether you're sleeping with Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon's a part of your life and tracking everything that you do.
I love that you
Absolutely.
mentioned tracking, because you're wondering, okay, how are they going to know? So they created this new device. So you guys know that the last time when Pokemon Go came out, they came out with a device called the Pokemon Plus that tracked your steps. It helped you find when there were Pokemon nearby, all that sort of stuff, without needing your phone. So they created a new one, and this is awesome. And this goes to show you how the conference went. They called it the Pokemon Plus.
Yep. You know,
connection.
look, this is classic
Yeah.
Nintendo, you know, naming. It's just like, cool, we got Nintendo DS. What we got next? DSi. Cool, what is DSi XL? Just moving on to 3DS, 3DXL, 3DS. I'm sorry.
And when in
New.
doubt, add the word new in front of it.
Yep.
Oh, God. They've
Which
done
that's
this.
the one that I have.
They've done this ever since the beginning, even for the original Game Boy. And I'm like, all right, you guys suck at naming. That's cool. We figured this out. There's even one game out there for the Wii U that's called it's called N++. So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have a feeling.
Well, actually, that game's
That's
actually
a
pretty
Nike.
good.
Yeah.
It is.
It's actually a pretty good game. So, all right, so that was pretty much what they covered with the Pokemon conference. And then what's even weirder, so like Dragon Quest Walk is also apparently a thing that got announced this week.
That doesn't need to happen.
So it's a Dragon Quest game to the tune of Pokemon Go.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
For what reason? For
the reason that Pokemon Go has made a fuck ton of money.
but at the end of the day, and this is Dragon Quest, you said, or Dragon
Yes, Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest is extremely popular still. Like, it beats out Final Fantasy. That's how bad it is. Because when we went, we actually saw a Lawson that was Dragon Quest themed. They had slime, shot glasses, slippers, cups, and mugs, like USB drives. They just lined in the store. It's insane. So, yeah, I'm not going to lie. I could see this happening because over in Japan, it's probably going to be uber popular. So
I probably won't be checking it out. I mean, I'll probably check it out as much as I did Pokemon Go. That's just me being honest.
I'm not going to check it out at all. Dragon Quest is fine, but I'm not a big enough fan to actually care that there's a Pokemon. First of all, I don't play Pokemon Go. Right?
And that's
I go to work, I come home, I work more.
But now you can sleep. So you're going to be playing it, right?
Actually, Pokemon Sleep, I might play.
There you go.
But I'm not buying that plus crap.
No, absolutely.
Also, Plus Ultra would have been a perfect name, dude.
Yep.
Nah.
Double plus could have been.
But
that.
no, if they would have went Plus Ultra, they would have got sued.
Why?
For copyright. Because that's what they do on an anime for.
Yes, My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, because Koei Tecmo.
I forgot
Plus
about
Ultra.
that.
Yep. Can't do that, sorry.
Well, it depends, because trademarks also depend on context, so I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe who knows?
That too, but when it comes to Nintendo and Koei, they're extremely anal when it comes to their properties. So anybody who wants Goku and Smash, I wonder what will happen with the legal aspects of that. It'll probably never
At least we have them on, what is it called? Jump Force?
Oh, yeah.
Jump Force is ugly with that toothpaste graphics.
So, baby, I'm going to let you announce this next article because you had the perfect way of announcing it when you walked through the door.
Nice.
So, that's the last non-E3. Well, this is kind of E3 related, but not too much. But I want you to be the one to announce it.
Shit. It was. God damn, no, I don't remember it anymore.
You want me to do it?
Was it new
You want
Xbox
me
game?
exclusive?
Oh, do you want your new Xbox exclusive? Too bad. You get what? Soap?
Xbox Spray has teamed up with my Xbox to come up with Xbox branded soap and body wash.
Oh, God.
Okay, cool. Well, all right.
Yeah, nah, I don't. I wonder how it would smell.
Wow, Nintendo should have done this
smells
for
like
the Smash players.
It smells like achievements.
I wonder if that's going to be the scent.
What do achievements smell like?
You know what?
Here's what Microsoft expects gamers to power up with Xbox Link's products before leaving the house, presumably where you will do the absolute minimum required of them before returning home to game.
It's going to smell like Irish Springs. Watch.
That's what this article actually says. So yeah, it's very interesting for sure.
You know what? You did what they should have done with this product. You know how Xbox is very good with technology. They should have put an LCD on that actual a little soap canister. So when they pour it out, it actually tracks the time of when the last time they bathed. So when they do that, an achievement will pop them. It's like, first time in 3 days.
How much is that going to cost?
I don't know, but I would like
Xbox
that.
soap now only $150.
I'd actually buy it just to see what would happen. It's like, wow, I'm a nasty man. Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
We did warn you at the beginning of the episode.
Yes.
If you didn't want to listen to me, that's not my fault. You are like your children.
I haven't cursed yet.
I know.
Well, you have not.
You want to know what's funny, though? This is one of those episodes where we're not actually drinking. I would love to one day get together, the four of us, and record an episode where we actually are.
I promise nothing.
We have done those episodes, and yeah.
Well, if you don't drink, you could be the sober one.
Oh, no. I'll definitely drink.
Oh,
I
that's the
promise
problem?
nothing to the audience.
Oh,
Oh, that's completely fine. We'll give them warnings.
yeah, no, for sure.
I mean,
just give me a counter.
I want to admit, I went one time. I went off on a tangent. What was it for the $1,000 leather jacket for Devil May Cry?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I completely went on a tangent on that one. So
Did you get it?
no, hell no,
Damn. Oh, well, that's my one.
hell no. Trust me, I made my feelings heard on that one.
Capcom almost got my money.
Yeah. No.
What, you almost bought it?
I almost bought it.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, I had, because I sell stuff on eBay, and I looked at my account, I was like, I can do this. Should I do it? It's just like when you have those two questions and they clash. It's just like,
what do you do? just what do you do?
I was already in checkout. It's like I can press this button and just let it happen. Remember, Devil May Cry 5. Gotta let it out, right? All your freaking money.
Not with me. Not on that one.
Oh man. So yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and go start talking about E3 now. Once again, we are at that time of the year where E3 is coming around, but this year is very different than previous years. Mm-hmm. So Sony, we already know, is not going to be a part of this.
You're not gonna miss anything.
What?
Are you talking shit over there?
Yes, I am.
Talking shit, son?
You know, wake up my kid.
I love
Yeah, I keep forgetting that, okay?
You have a family?
Yeah, I know,
You've
right?
lied to me?
Now,
The
this
show
is
is called Gaming Dad.
this is a good opportunity to compare and contrast the difference to a gamer that doesn't have kids and a family to a gamer that does.
Oh, no, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, I
fine.
mean, you can call me daddy if you want, but you
It's
know,
like-
I mean,
right now, Brandon and I are kind of like the old Magnum PI, where I'm Tom Selleck and he's my black helicopter pilot.
there we go. Yeah.
Jesus, it's very prestigious.
Again, guys, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we kind of
Sorry.
apologize. So
That's amazing. Don't
Alright.
don't apologize for
E3,
that.
E3, do you guys think it's still relevant? Do we still need it? I mean, we saw that Sony's not going to be in it, and honestly, I don't think Sony's ever coming back, with the exception of announcing the PlayStation 5 or whatever they call it, only
Do
because they're
you
starting to
think-
do the state of play.
Considering
Let me finish my
that-
sentences on the show.
God damn it! Go ahead. Go.
You're famous, in Ctrl+C, he's famous for interrupting me. So, is it still relevant?
You're very
is it still
long-winded.
needed? I'm the host.
It's very long-winded. It's really about perspective at that point, because they still have to be visible to the public whenever they're competing with Xbox. Microsoft's going to be there, and it's speculated that Microsoft is actually going to announce their next generation console. So people are like,
And it's going to be a 2-hour conference, which
Yeah.
also kind of lends credence to
so
that
people are
possibility.
like, is PS5 going to announce it prior to E3 or not?
Via state of play.
Yeah.
And
mean,
you see,
right
that's
now
the thing.
there's no state of place announced at this time.
Do they have to announce it? Though?
They don't
what does
have
Nintendo
to.
do? Nintendo tells you, "Hey, direct tomorrow," and everybody's freaking, "Oh man, we're gonna be for the direct."
Dude,
people change their schedules
PlayStation-
to do live reactions, and you and I go buy crazy cables because we couldn't
It's me.
find it.
Absolutely me.
Exactly, that's my point. So, do they really need to? Sony has now come out and shown us 3 state of plays that have kind of told us what it is about. So, but is that what we want to see for the PlayStation 5?
Well, here's the reason. Like, when it comes to Nintendo, they're very draconian when it comes to how they work. But when they start doing innovative stuff, everybody else follows. Sony follows.
Oh, yeah.
That's all they do is follow. Yes, they actually out in the market do very well. But when it comes to Direct, what did they do? They actually make a state of play. When it came to their classics, what did Sony do? Make a Sony classic. It was crap, but it's cool.
But see, it's like Nintendo is they're
Very
very reserved with what they do.
Absolutely.
And it's like Nintendo DS was almost an accident.
Yep.
They didn't mean for it to be that big, and it became the second highest grossing console of all time,
Why do you think
behind
they went-
PlayStation 2.
That's why they went for the Switch the way that they did.
Even motion controls. They came out with that.
Guys,
Freaking
let's go
Xbox
back.
and Sony came out with
Let's go
motion
further
controls.
back. Go further back. Rumble.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just like they
The reason
copy.
remotes rumble today, the reason you have the tactic feedback is because Nintendo started it with the N64 Rumble Pack.
Absolutely.
I used to have the Rumble book bag.
And I hate it. What?
The Rumble book bag? From
What
back
is
in
that?
the day?
All right, first of all, you're too close to the mic.
Yeah.
From
Don't
back
get
in the
so
day.
excited,
You've
man.
never seen the Rumble book bag.
No.
What? Oh my god.
I'm actually curious about that too.
All right, so am I. So while he's looking for that, so Sony coming back to E3, do you think they'll do a state of play or they'll do an E3 announcement? Like, because yes, you're right. Microsoft, if they announce something this year, they're going to be kind
They're
of
absolutely going to announce something this year.
You think
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
In order to compete with
With,
Xbox, yes.
with Google, with Stadia being a thing, Microsoft has to do something.
Yep.
True.
They cannot walk out of E3 without competing with Sony.
And they did very well last year. And I was like, this was a very strong conference. I know most of those games were not like exclusive to Xbox, but it was a very strong presentation, which I was like, perfect.
According to this, and according to Games Radar, they're going to have approximately 14 first-party Xbox games to show.
Or
Are they all going to cancel?
Sony is just going to walk in there like old school WWF style with their song just breaking in the background with Microsoft? It's like, you know
You
what?
think they're going to shout and drop on E3?
Yeah, they're going to be like Microsoft and Sony are new Ultimate Tag Team partners. They are Mankind and Stone Cold Steve Austin fighting against Stadia.
You know what? I agree with that one. I'm going to agree with that one. Yeah.
Did you guys see the announcement that Microsoft and Sony are partnering up for cloud gaming? That was announced last week. So it's one of those cases where
They have to.
Yeah, because if not, they're going to be taken out.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's one of those where...
There's the image.
Interesting. What the heck?
Yeah, it was a book bag that you would put on, and you would feel basically all the vibration.
Are you sure that's not a laser tag vest? Are you sure you just weren't losing a laser tag?
But also, the fact that Xbox is also teaming up with Nintendo, because there's one thing that Sony and Nintendo have in common. They have very crappy online features.
Yeah.
Their interface just blows balls. They just do. It's just like...
And it came out around the Sega and NES era.
Oh, man.
It's like, so for it to... for Xbox to kind of do, because even though they didn't sell very well with their consoles, their online since Xbox original has been strong. It's just so you'll get your occasional lag. It's not perfect, but 9 times out of 10, if I go online, I'm gonna go online. And just like Sony is just like, I just want to send a message. Oh no, you can't do that. Error 36465. Go fuck yourself.
To be fair,
That's my one.
To be fair, me being on PS4, I haven't had that many issues with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the issues that you get, the major ones.
Yeah, you mean like what the
when the PSN went down for like a week and a half.
the DDoS attacks and everything.
That totally is.
That happens.
Sony gets hacked every day. This came from the president himself. They get hacked every day. They don't know how to fix it, and it just makes me laugh. This was 5
Well,
years ago.
when you're a worldwide like corporation like that, it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
When your entire business model is online, it's like there's games out there that you can't even barely play offline anymore.
oh yeah.
That is very true. And I hate those, especially when I'm at the doctor's office and I ain't got no signal.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's like I can't connect to my PlayStation network. I can't play any of my goddamn games. Everything has a lock right next to it. I'm like, well, what kind of world have we gone into?
See, that's the other thing too. I'm afraid about the whole streaming aspect because we're still not there. It's just like we're starting to get a lot stronger. We're starting to optimize more, but we're not there. Google might be there because.
But at the same time, how do you
Yeah,
get
but
there? Like strong-arming people into getting there.
But even if Google's right there, it's like, do you really want to put all your gaming eggs in one basket?
Hell no.
Exactly.
And that's why we're having multiple companies try to come up with the idea.
Yep.
It's like, I don't feel good about Stadia.
Why?
Stadia, whatever, I don't fucking care.
All right.
There's
There's nothing else we can say about
I
it.
totally get it because I'm a game collector. I go out there and get physical games because what happens
See,
is
I don't do that. And the funny thing that you say about that is what Xbox One X tried to do with their new gaming console that was the exact same price as their Xbox X One that did not have the hard drive. Absolutely. And people were like, what?
The disc drive?
Yeah, they did not.
Digital version?
Yeah, they did not have.
Dude, you have no idea. I know you don't watch or listen to Gaming Dad because you barely listen to Ctrl+C. But
You say
dude, he's on them. He doesn't listen to them.
you say barely, and what you mean is I don't.
No, you have because I've shown you a couple of clips here and there, so you barely listen.
so you're like, when did I say that?
Yeah, basically.
Oh,
No, I like that.
Every time I use a clip and it's him, I'm like, here, look, I used your clip.
And because podcast amnesia is an actual thing.
Yeah, it really is. So
Oh, absolutely.
I forgot where I was going with this.
No, the Xbox One.
Yeah, we're talking about
One.
Xbox One X, the disc drive.
Oh yeah, this is right. Nobody was as disappointed as me, dude. I talked about that thing for episodes, for months, looking forward to it, about how badly I wanted it, because if they came out with a cheap enough console, I would totally get it, because I've missed a couple of games on the Xbox, and I want to get Xbox Games Pass again, because I had it for the PC for months, but the games on it were super limited. Granted, they just announced they're expanding that, but that's a different story. I wanted to play everything.
Absolutely.
So I was like, dude, if it's 150, I'm in. If it's 150, I'm in. If it's 180, I'll push it. I don't care. I'm in. And then no, man. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. At this point, I can literally.
It's $250.
That's exactly.
It's the exact same price as the main console.
Should have been flat 200
Well,
or
I think what they're
175.
trying- I think what
Yeah.
they're trying to do is, because you're buying the all digital console, they're technically giving it to you at 180, if I'm not mistaken, 180, 190, plus the 3 games that already comes installed into it, which they're tagging it to you
games
at full price. So that's when it comes up to the
and that's.
But the thing is, it's like, even Xbox, it's like, that was a risk well taken, because they're ending the generation.
Yep.
It's over. They're like, hey, people have been saying that they wanted something like this, so let's just go ahead and put it out there to see what the reception is. The reception was bad, so they might do the same thing with the next Xbox generation, but they might make the price difference more reasonable. They might make it to where it's like, yeah, we have this super powered Xbox that's able to compete with the PS5 Stadia.
Yeah.
So,
And-
in that note,
Good job.
So in that note, do you think that they're pricing it more so that way they deter people from buying this generation's discless one to try to bring out the new generation discless at a cheaper price?
I think that they're probably pulling away from making the Xboxes with the disc, because people aren't buying them as much anymore. I don't have like the figures of digital sales, but having an online store is so much more accessible for so many people that it's like, why go out and put your money on a disc that may get lost, may get broken.
Well, for collectors,
Grease, you know.
for collectors.
And yeah, it's for collectors, but there's also there's a vast majority of people that are just like, yeah, I like just sitting on my couch and just pressing a button on my controller and jumping to the next game.
So will you be happy if they come out with, you go to the game store, we sold you the cartridge or the case, and here's your digital code?
No, this is where I step in. Hell no. They will not do that, because at the end of the
preservation, you still need some sort of
absolutely, because opening up a box, you just have a box of air. It's just not possible. Just with a digital code, they did that for Fortnite. And it was just why?
My thought process on actual like physical copies of games is, to me, because of the price of games nowadays and the development of games, that they're probably going to start including those games in like maybe like those ultimate packages. It's like, if you want to spend $100 on this game, you can have your digital copy and you can have your hard copy now.
That'd be nice.
But otherwise, it's solely going to be digital. If you want the hard copy game, it's going to be an extra $40. It's going to be an extra $50. Why? Because the development for all of these games, it takes like hundreds of people to like bring out a huge AAA product.
We talk about it all the time on the show. Games are not priced accordingly.
It's like, if you want your physical edition, like physical edition for everybody that's a collector, then you're going to have to pay more for it.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's going to be the future of gaming.
I did notice, I went to Puerto Rico, Walmart in Puerto Rico. A lot of the newer games, when I go here in the States to look at the shelving for all the video games, they're all at $59.99, whatever. In Puerto Rico, mainly the whole entire thing was priced at $49.95.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The thing is,
$10 cheaper.
Wow.
my problem with it, actually, when it comes to digital, is that sales. Is that you don't know when the sale will drop. You want to buy that game because I'm cheap.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh cool, it's still $60.
Are
you
but
kidding
that's still
me?
also awesome to wait for a sale.
The one thing that pissed me off, and I sent Chris this last week, where PlayStation was having a sale for a lot of their $60 games to like $20. One of the games on there, I like playing like the baseball and the football games online. So I bought MLB The Show 2019.
Oh, okay.
And that game just released. at the end of March. It's a brand new game.
Oh,
What the fuck? Hey, Chris, what can you...
No.
It's a brand new game that cost me $60. I mean, and I got it like maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm like, do I want this game because I have MLB The Show 18? And I'm like, yeah, I do, because it has new things on it. It gives me this new dopamine high for achieving these brand new things that weren't in the previous game. Yeah, I get duped like that. So I buy it. Just last week, PlayStation announces their huge sale on games, including Spider-Man and MLB The Show 2019, for $20.
yep.
And I'm like, if I just waited 3 months after the release,
And it's just it's
but it's
not,
like, how do you know that?
it's the unknown. I think
Yeah.
that's why I like physical, because with Spider-Man still being like, well, $40 now, but I got Spider-Man in January. This guy was selling it in the west side of town,
Oh
20
shit!
bucks.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm gonna go to the ghetto to get Spider-Man for 20 bucks.
I'm not gonna be that acrobatic again. Forget it.
I was like, this was worth everything.
Thanks, man.
I actually would have spent 40. And it went up to 40. I'm like, oh, well, at least I got it for 20. This is
I
so-
will say I have gotten burned a couple times pre-ordering video games. Just because I'm like, oh, I'm into it. The cutscenes and everything that they do at the very beginning, they do a really good job at taking your attention for those video games. But once you actually get the games, like, it's a complete different experience. And yes, even though I've learned my lesson multiple times, I still fall for it.
Yeah.
I still do it.
Saying
but
that-
now I'm already to the point where I'm starting to wait for sales.
Yeah.
Like,
Saying
that's it
that,
now.
everybody, stop pre-ordering games
Absolutely.
unless.
He gave me this
Absolutely.
rant yesterday a little bit, and like, I could tell how excited he was to be on the show to be able to talk about it. Go on.
Stop pre-ordering games, because unless you support the developer and you know that they have other IPs and AAA products, and possibly like barely AAA products that you're excited for and you want to help support, stop buying Anthems and Divisions and all of this bullshit that they just keep regurgitating,
live
year after
services.
year.
That.
Yeah, it's
There's no
like,
place for
stop
live
pre-ordering
services.
this.
But the problem is that I really do think live services could work. The problem is that you are not getting enough content out
Absolutely.
first. And that's the thing. They keep, games of service, and build it up over time. The problem is, as a gamer, you don't want to build over time. You want to have enough content. And the problem is that unlike previous MMOs and things of that nature, they just don't have enough to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's part of the other discussion that we previously just had like 20 minutes ago, where it's like back in the day, 40 years ago, they could build a $1 million game with 10 people. Now they have to have 500 people to even get the same like support.
Yeah, Uncharted. I wonder how, a game like Uncharted had to have at least like 200 something people, at least 300 something. People.
Something like that.
If it's Naughty
It
Dog,
is a fabulous game.
If it's Naughty Dog, it's about 393 people, maybe. Not really. Don't
Because
ask me
they
about
are a
numbers.
pretty big studio. Like, they're not as big as some other studios, but they are a pretty big studio.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like, even with, you're right about that. Stop pre-ordering those games. It's not worth it at the end of the day, because I actually had
Getting that extra skin does not matter.
it does not. Like, Anthem, I was really hyped for.
I was not.
Because here's
I
the
was because I love Iron Man.
I actually was on board because Casey Hudson came back. And I was like, okay, Mass Effect. He's going to do it, because he left, like, what was it, only about 2014, 2015? So when Andromeda came out, I was hyped about Mass Effect Andromeda. That thing blew donkey butt. And I was just like, nope. I played for
My
it.
copy of Mass Effect Andromeda is still in the cellophane.
Keep it in there. Keep it sealed. Keep the demon sealed. Because I played it for an hour, and I was just like, what? Okay, no. Just I gave it back.
It's probably one of the few collector items that's probably going to lose money over the years.
Oh, no.
It's going to lose
The
value.
game, I promise you guys, the game came out, I went to go return it. And the day I went to go return it, about 3 or 4 days after it came out, they were like, we'll give you $4 for it.
Really?
I was like, yeah, no, forget it.
Absolutely.
Brand new, wrapped in cellophane, basically a return.
Actually, I think I remember that,
$4.
because I think I gave Ray like money for it, and you gave me your copy,
Yep, I gave
and
you
you
my
were
copy,
waiting.
and I reordered mine, yeah.
I'm telling you.
And
man.
I played like the first like 2 hours of it, and I was like, what is this? Like, I was one of the people that started from the very first Mass Effect. I didn't play it on Xbox, but I played it on PC, and it was amazing. I started playing Andromeda, and I'm like, this feels worse than the initial product.
Yep.
So, now, let's go ahead and wrap this up and go back to E3.
Yeah,
I was
sorry.
like, are we talking about E3? Isn't that what that is
You
back
said
there?
tangents.
Yeah.
They were good
yeah.
at tangents.
So, all right, we did get into a nice tangent.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, E3, what conferences are you most looking for? Let's start with Ricky.
Well, just because of last year, and to me, I think Microsoft won last year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm looking forward to Microsoft. Second to that would be Nintendo.
All right. Billy, are you looking forward to any conferences? Because I've heard rumors about announcements happening for the Square Enix one.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we have confirmation. They are going to talk about the Avengers game that Crystal
yeah.
Dynamics has been working on.
They're
Wait,
talking.
Square Enix
Yes.
Yeah.
with Marvel.
Yes.
Yes.
It's an actual Avengers.
You were not aware
You
of
didn't
the
see the
Avengers
trailer?
game?
Nope, because I kept myself on Nerd Rock.
They're
That's
talking.
great.
Well, the
It's
teaser
been a
trailer.
rumor since last year. I'm surprised you haven't heard about
Nope,
it.
I've
Thing with Square Enix
The
is
teaser trailer was the Iron Man's gauntlet. You had Captain America's shield and Thor's hammer.
Oh, that's hot.
yeah, it is.
pretty-
It's
On
pretty
On
sexy.
a rumbled building.
It's pretty damp in the pants. All right, cool. Oh,
Yeah, I like it.
I'm expecting something like DCUO is what I'm expecting.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not.
I'm hoping kind of in the sense that you make your own hero, but better in the terms of quality.
DCUO is like
thank you.
DC
I ain't gonna be here.
DCUO is like the Fortnite of like MMOs. It was just really bad.
The Fortnite of MMOs.
That's right, little kids. We're going after your new modern games.
I'm not saying that Fortnite's a bad game. It took away a lot of the piece of shit children from the real
From
games.
the real games.
So, so it did what it was supposed to.
Jeez.
But now they all just dance randomly.
Speaking of Fortnite, did you guys see that Ninja PewDiePie are teaming up for this next like gaming thing, this gaming tournament?
No, I was not aware of that.
Oh,
I
yes,
saw him, like,
I think
sleep.
so. Yes.
Yeah.
Where PewDiePie is having one team and Ninja's rolling another team. They're fighting against each other.
No, they're on the same team.
Oh, are they in the same
They're on
team?
the same team.
Because I saw
And-
another one similar where there was basically two people going
No,
against
no,
each other.
they're on the same team. And I'm ashamed for knowing this, and I don't know why I even read as much of the article as I did, because I do not care about the game or either of the people. I have never watched either one of their streams.
But it's like Wikipedia. You go into it's like, why did I read up on fusion reactor cores? Okay, cool.
because of Chernobyl, okay? I need to know why the RBMK reactor got blown up, okay? And now I know.
Mistakes were made.
Jeez.
But yeah, no, okay, so
favorite
Square
conference, what
Enix.
conference are you looking for?
No, it's going to be Square Enix because they have they're supposed to announce a new Dragon Age game.
Okay.
Wait, isn't Dragon Age EA though?
Or Dragon Quest?
Dragon Quest. There we go.
Dragon Quest.
They're
They're supposed to announce a new Dragon Quest. Speculation for new Nier Automata. Nier Automata 2,
that'd be dope.
which would be fantastic. Which it's reasonable to think that might happen because Final Fantasy XIV is doing a crossover event with Nier Automata for their next expansion.
Yeah.
They have the developers, the creators from Nier Automata 2 and Dragon Quest helping them out. So both of those games, but they're helping them out with the development of their dungeons and their 24-man raids for Final Fantasy XIV. So it's going to be in that design.
Okay, good.
So it's going to be fantastic. So, I mean, they may or may not either talk about that or they may talk about a new addition to their IP. So it's interesting to kind of like look forward to.
Okay.
Interesting. Now, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
Let's see. It'll be Devolver Digital. It'll be Capcom because they like to slip everything now and then, and Nintendo. Mostly for Nintendo because I'm like, all right, cool. You mentioned about Smash because I'm a Smash person, but you know the big difference is I bathe and I have a life. So
Are they adding new characters to Smash?
yeah, the Fighters Pass that we had in December, we already got Joker, so that means there's 4 more. The thing is that they're waiting, to get everything all out until like February 2020. We're already half in the year of 2019, and it's like, cool. where are the other two? Because shouldn't it be kind of like, fleshed out during this point in time, the next release? I hope that they actually announce two. That'd be great.
That would be great.
And just like
the last time that I played, because I do have Smash, and the only character that I actually got was just Piranha.
It's Piranha is dope. All right, he is the other heavy class, and he just brings new meta, and it's absolutely fun. He's mid tier, but he's still fun. I don't care.
Yes, he is very fun.
You know what? Tiers don't matter if you're not.
Nope, absolutely. Because what was it? Because this is the fighting game community. That's also where I'm at as well. Combo Breaker, Game & Watch won finals. That is unheard of. Because
it's funny because I was actually just listening to a podcast earlier that was talking about Combo Breaker.
It was the most dopest battle I've ever seen, and of course I like Daisy and Peach and everything because I'm like, wow, I get to see him top 5. No one can say ish about this now. And just like Mr. Game & Watch, it's because last year Tekken 7, a Panda, the actual player, the character, Panda, won finals in Tekken 7, and even when it had Harada, was just like, Panda? Really? Like, he was shocked that someone was able to use a potato tier character to win finals. I love fighting games.
Because granted, there are tiers, but for every tier, there's always an answer for it.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, you can have your top tier, like highly skilled players in all of these high-end tournaments. But a fucking Panda might just come along and just take the entire show, man.
Oh, and also for Devolver is because I'm a huge fan of a game, Metal Wolf Chaos. It was an Xbox original exclusive, Japan only. From Software made it, actually, because they were in that time of Armored Core.
From made it?
Yep, From Software made it because they were doing Armored Core. So before everybody was doing, Dark Souls and all that other crap, and I'm just like, Kingsfield is also the blame. But they were into mess.
Armored Core or something like it's also expected to be announced for E3 this year.
Yes, I actually hope they do.
Okay.
That's good because since they already got Sekiro out, which I like, it's better than Dark Souls. I don't care what anybody says. It's just like, yeah, I need my mech fix back. And Metal Wolf Chaos will definitely do it. It was supposed to be done last year. But I'm going to definitely get it. I wish it was physical because I would have bought the collector's edition and I would have been eating ramen noodles for 2 months. So
I forgot which one I played, and it's been years since I played Armored Core.
Did it come out for PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2?
No, PlayStation 1.
Okay, so it's either...
That was the last version that I ever played.
Was it a red disc?
Oh, hell, I don't remember.
It's alright, because there was only 3. It was Armored Core, Project Phantasma.
It was green, I want to say.
Project Phantasma.
There we go.
And then, was it Master of Arena? Yes, I love mech games.
But yeah, that was the last one I ever played.
You were fine.
Oh, God.
So yeah, in terms of conferences, I guess for me, I don't know if we're still on that topic, but I
We
guess...
are.
Sweet. So for me, I'm looking forward to the Microsoft because I want to see just what they're going to announce, see if they're going to talk about the console. But I also am looking very much forward to Nintendo, and that's also based on what you told me for the GameStop rumors that are going around in regards to what Nintendo may or may not announce. Because you have, what is it?
Basically, GameStop has reportedly added 21 unannounced Switch games to their website list and to basically the pre-order list that they got going on. And all of those prices range from the $49.99, $59.99, and then of course at the very, very bottom, we have one for $199.99.
$199.
So, what do you think is going to be coming out that is worth $200? Do we think it's probably going to be the new 3DS or 4DS? Could it be the Switch Mini that reportedly was announced at one point?
Switch Mini already? They're not going to announce that so soon after
not
Switch.
Mini, they talked about a lighter version where it's possible that the Joy-Cons may not separate, where it doesn't have the rumble features for the high-definition rumble, that sort of stuff. So there's been rumors about that, but I don't know, man.
Or could it be? Could it be?
Oh no! Fuck you with the goddamn prediction.
What is this prediction?
Okay, go ahead.
Y'all haven't heard?
Oh,
We
we
already
heard.
covered. He doesn't.
No,
listen-
man, I'm
he
here.
doesn't
I'm not
listen.
listening.
I know that,
He
but
doesn't
I
listen to
figured
the show
you would
he's
at
on
least
every
tell
week.
him.
He doesn't listen
I
to
figured you
people.
would at least tell him, like,
He's
Mom and
barely
Dad here
listening
fighting.
to the conversation.
He's right.
So, okay, so I'll let you
I'm
know.
looking at you, but I
One-
can't hear what you're saying.
One of my wish predictions that I want for it to come out is basically for Xbox and Nintendo to go in bed and come out with the Xbox Switch handheld or the Xbox handheld. Look at that. Look at
I
that.
don't
That
think
cannot be the face of
no.
somebody who thinks that this is going to happen.
No, that's a face of no. What? Wait, why?
It's like
Everything is already going
Ricky.
on the
Just because you live in
Switch.
Jacksonville does not mean you have to smoke crack.
Yes, Florida man.
Florida man smokes crack out of an Xbox.
No,
360 controller.
No, it's bath salts, okay?
Oh.
And
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
it's bath salts.
No, but yes, I am
but
in the
yes.
camp of looking for that.
Look,
An Xbox handheld.
what I'm actually thinking, no, they won't. They will get dominated by Nintendo.
But
It's the same way as
that's what I'm
Sony.
saying.
They'll
But they
get
partner up with Nintendo because if you really think about it, Nintendo at one point stated, or the new what was it? One of the higher up CEOs stated that they didn't want to make any more consoles.
That is true. But they're very good at services. They're very good at strengthening networks. That's what they need.
And here's the other thing, and what I fear: if Nintendo gets out of the console space, who's going to innovate?
Absolutely. And just
Well,
like
I think it's more. It's not that they're truly leaving the console
Stadia.
space. It's just
They don't need to innovate. It's done.
to me. I think
Basically, that's it.
I think to me they're
They've
going to
already
try to stake
innovated.
into
It's
the,
online.
No, to me, I think they're going to try to stake into the handheld market more than an actual physical at-home console.
Yeah, because handheld is badass.
Especially when you're playing quality games.
Now
Like,
add Xbox to it.
no.
it shouldn't. It's just like because Nintendo also made a statement before that they're not going to leave the console market. They're just gonna keep making it because at the end of the day,
But okay,
we're no longer as these four men here. We're no longer the demographic like that. It's always
No.
going to be geared to kids. And just
the
like
thing
so.
is that Nintendo makes like core quality games.
Yes.
You can't go to any other console. You can't go to Xbox and you can't go to PS4 and actually find the same type of games as going to Nintendo. Even going back to like the old school
quality's
Nintendo,
unmatched,
the DS's, it's like they have a very specific like niche in the gaming world that the core is the family.
Yep.
That's why they made like games like Super Smash Brothers and completely like redefined the fighting genre, is because they want to make games accessible for everyone.
And the funny thing
you
is-
will not find that with Xbox. You won't find that with PlayStation. You're not going to find that with Google, whatever they come out with. It's always going to be Nintendo that's going to be able to appeal to everybody, and that's why I think Nintendo's always going to come out.
Oh
on
yeah,
top.
and even with Smash, it wasn't even intended for fighting. It was just a party game. You know?
Exactly.
It didn't even. Get
That's
to
why
the
it's like,
FGC.
what was it? It was one of the Smash games.
It was Melee.
Melee, where they actually nerfed it to try to make it less competitive.
Oh, you mean Brawl? Brawl was the one because it's like, look, they were
Brawl
making
was
a
the
statement.
one where they literally made it to where you're like walking and you're tripping over
Yep,
yourself.
freaking and
They
I
did
still
that.
liked it.
They did that out of spite because people made it a competitive game.
Yep, and the thing is that it's like, sorry, is that certain. I mean, here's the thing. There's another fighting game tournament that comes out in Florida. It's called CEO Taku. They play a lot of anime games, stuff like that, and of course, you know, a couple of them is Puyo Puyo Tetris. That's competitive.
Nope.
Catherine is competitive.
Catherine is competitive.
Yes.
How? Well,
Because like it's 2-player, because it's like, yeah, you know, play with your friend and whatever, but they made that competitive. Any game out there is considered competitive. And see, so that's the reason why. You know,
Yeah.
what about
definitely.
roller derby?
Yeah, that's also competitive.
Yeah, that's-
Absolutely.
Guys, with that, I know that
Any game-
Ubisoft. Ubisoft. It's
Technically, any game where there can be a winner or a loser is competitive.
You know what I'm saying?
Ubisoft is apparently leaking, or there's a leak out there for Ubisoft to come out with a roller champions. It's really basically a
What the fuck
mix
is that?
of it's a
Oh, I
mix
thought you were
of,
going to talk about their other rumor.
Oh no.
Go ahead. They're mixed up.
No, yeah, roller derby, or it's basically a roller derby game.
Okay.
So that would be something that you'd be interested in?
No.
I would be interested because
Why?
you know, I mean, at
You
the
know,
end
it was
of
a
the-
really fun game that I did not know that I would like.
what?
It was a rugby game. It's just like this cheap rugby game that's like $10, and I'm like,
man.
this is fun as fuck.
Oh, absolutely. Like, what was it? I didn't think that I'd get back into playing Rayman Legends, but because of one minigame that me and my friends played for, quote, 4 hours straight, Kung Foot. And all that was just taking a ball and kicking it to the other side. And that's 2D FIFA. And it's the most badass competitive thing you've ever played.
Speaking of these really old school games, another thing that it's already out there, but Final Fantasy VII, the remake, that's happening. They may or may not even delve into that at all.
I hope they do. I hope they do because we at this point need to see it. The game went on for it was announced, 4 years ago? 3 years ago?
Yeah, about
It
3
was-
They worked on it for a long ass time. They made all these promises. Then all of a sudden the studio gets pulled down and everything gets get back and now they have to restart. So then now, if you remember about 2 weeks ago, we had Jesus Christ, a trailer that got presented for the new Final Fantasy remake, and that's good. We got to see that, but now I think we need more.
Did you notice that during the entire time of those gameplays, the name Tifa was there, but the name, the model was not even there at all? Why? Where was it? Where's freaking Tifa? Give me Tifa.
That's because they're still trying to figure out how to circulate those triangle titties.
It's gonna be real. Just don't mess it up. Don't mess it up.
Speaking
They
of
didn't mess it up with the original
Women
game.
exist like that.
They
How
did
dare
not.
you.
They did not mess it up with the original games. It's like one of the first things they did whenever they developed these 3D gaming graphics. One of the first things that they perfected were the bounce of those titties.
I miss Dead or Alive.
yeah.
So another leak from Ubisoft. Watch Dogs Legion has just been leaked.
This podcast's name is now Gaming Dogs 101.
I still haven't played Watch Dogs 2. I haven't played it.
You still haven't played Watch Dogs?
I haven't played any
I've
of
actually
them.
been waiting for it to become on sale, but it's never been on a sale that I actually want to purchase it in.
Trust me, no, that's how I am. I haven't played Watch Dogs
It's not
2.
bad. It's a pretty decent game, but it's nothing to write home about. It's one of those where you could enjoy it and you can have a lot of fun in that world, but it still underplays what they keep trying to sell you is the purpose of the game.
Yeah.
So you feel more powerful in 2 because you feel like there's a lot more stuff you can do. But at the same time, there's still a lot of stuff that you should be able to do that they told you that you could possibly do and that you don't do. So then it's kind of disappointing.
That's
so
the
I'll
reason
be interested
why-
to see what Legion's all about.
That's why I've been under a rock, because I'm just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to hype myself so high to a certain degree and just to be shot down again. I'm like, no, I want to go in there surprised this time. That's why I was like, what do you mean? It's just like, that's the itch that I would like to have when I watch it, when I do my live
because
reactions.
if you don't do that, then you're going to do stupid shit like pre-order games.
that's where we're at the end of the
And
line.
that's
is a
one of
pre-order
my,
game.
and that's, I'm so excited for the PS5, but then again, I'm just I see what they're doing online with their 0.8 second load times, and I'm like, when I get it, it's going to still be 8 seconds, and I'm just going to be like, you guys lied to us, and we're like, well, it was still in development, and I'm like, you son of a bitch.
All they have to do in order for them to win, because yes, there will still be a console where I don't care what Nintendo says, they're not really our competitors. Yes, they are. Absolutely, they are. It's just because they're
if you
following
don't
at
want
the
them
end
to
of
be
the
your
day.
competitors, then make a goddamn Final Fantasy VI remake.
Oh yes, I need that. I know we talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're getting into that game. It's fantastic. Make the remake.
So good.
It'll be 20 times over. What
I
Final
went out of
Fantasy
my
VII.
way to fight Ultros at the
All right,
beginning.
so this is what I'm going to do here on air. Did you guys want to join us for the Square Enix conference?
When is the Square Enix conference?
We're recording
Sunday,
it
I
post.
think.
We're
It's
recording
Sunday.
it post.
Post? Okay, post. Because I know I'll be doing lives. Is this
We can't do live for a couple of them. That's why we may change our schedule, and just to go back to our E3 coverage schedule, we're going to be doing again live reactions confirmed for Microsoft on Sunday, June 9th at 4 p.m. We're going to be going live around 3:30, and Bethesda we're going to be going live around 8 o'clock for the conference at 8 p.m. Excuse me. This is all Eastern Standard Time. We are going to look at the other ones. We're going to have reactions for others. Conferences, but depending on the times, we may or may not do those live. We're still trying to figure that out. Once we do, we'll give you guys an update via Facebook group as well as our Twitter. So keep an eye out for that.
I'm gonna call out. I hope you guys, help me
I
out.
nobody gives a fuck. Yeah, but it's like I'm still so nervous about Final Fantasy VII remake because at 10 years old, it's acceptable for me to cry over Ares dying. At 31 years old, it is not. I can probably. It's like at that point, it's probably better for me to just like live stream that, so people could just laugh at me and be like, "31-year-old man, ugly cry."
Here's the thing. I love that the fact
Ares dying.
See, I'm glad that you made us the buns because you are a person that would cry with Ares. I don't. I actually hated her.
You have no soul.
I have the. Here's the thing.
I bet you chose Barrett as a date.
I would have. But it's
okay.
I want to keep her. But here's the thing: when her stats are bad as a somewhat white mage, I'm like, I'd rather just put it to other ones. So when she died, I was just like, cool. My healer was crap anyway.
But she was your healer.
And just like, I'd rather take potions from the store and still get the same base rather than her. And just like, nope. When she was gone, I was like, "This is the greatest moment of my life." So yeah, no, trust me. There's a lot of people that.
No, you're right. She's actually kind of trash, anyways. As far as like combat style, her limit break was a fucking heal. You don't need that.
It's like no. I was like, I need true DPS, and when they're in the actual like shithole, I need you to heal. That wasn't enough. I need you. I put your levels 3 stages higher than the other characters. 3 stages higher. I got them killed for a reason. So I can make her higher.
But you know how sad that was for me as a 10-year-old little boy who leveled Ares up just to have her killed by the end of the first disc. That's literally, even though there's 3 discs, that's literally halfway through the game because it was the longest portion.
And here I am playing Final Fantasy VII for the first time and have not gotten into any of those pieces yet.
No.
Well, whoops. You're not missing much.
But I will say though, I am playing it for the first time because this gentleman right here bought me a copy.
No, it's still a good game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I usually ish on like Final Fantasy VII quite a bit because 6 is my all-time favorite. 9 would be my second.
6 is so far like fucking fantastic. The first time that ninja motherfucker ran from my party, I was like, what? What? There's this character in Final Fantasy VI that just randomly just dashes out of your party towards the beginning of the game, and I was just like, what?
Absolutely. Just like,
I'm like in the middle of the woods. He just runs away.
So you brought in the RPG people, man. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good,
We'll do this all day.
But I
And that's
did
one
want to
thing
get...
that's the thing though. Nintendo will always bring you amazing JRPGs.
Yes. So
Octopath Traveler is a pretty good one too. So.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I want Mario RPG again. That's one of my predictions.
Is that one of your predictions, Mario RPG?
Oh,
I want them to remake it for the Switch.
I think you already told me it's like the Mario Maker or whatever.
Mario Maker 2 is already.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's coming out in like a month.
We don't
Yeah.
talk about that right now because we're still kind of mad. I'm mad. I don't know if I can speak for everybody else. I'm pretty mad.
Oh, because of the whole thing about them not playing, doing with your friends.
Yeah, because leaderboards like Nintendo cares about for some reason.
Let's be real. So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and their perspective was that it's going to be a time thing, and the reason for that is they probably couldn't figure it out because let's be honest, Nintendo has not really done this sort of thing that much. They're just getting into online gaming. So what better way to put the game out first and then put out that as a patch?
Yeah, they have a tendency to fix stuff. I mean, even right now with Smash Ultimate, they brought back Stage Builder. We didn't get that in the actual beginning, but I was okay with the final product. So as much as Nintendo likes to be ass backwards, they do have a tendency to fix stuff when they're like, hey, you know what? We messed up. Here's this version. I'm like,
that's
oh,
the
wow,
reason why they're
great.
Nintendo. That's the reason they're Nintendo, because of the quality. Like he said, there is no other developer out there that has that level of quality.
There is no other company that's going to bring the developers to that quality.
That is very true.
I miss Iwata. I'm sorry. I'm just like, there's not another man up. What's up?
No need to be sorry.
Nintendo doesn't have those evil like EA and Bethesda.
Oh, they did though. Back in
Yeah.
the day, but when we were kids, because we didn't notice the actual man.
Which is why Square Enix like fucking separated from them to begin with.
because
because Nintendo was the big bad evil man in the early
because
90s.
for him, he was actually still the person that was from that family from back in the day. And he said, "Oh, there can only be one member that runs Nintendo." He ousted his entire family And then later on the line, during like all the like NES, Super NES, like N64, he did not play any games. He made his lackeys play it. He did not care for it. He was only there for business. And so when Iwata came in, it was a fresh, breath of fresh air. Just absolutely. So for what Iwata did, yes, some things dropped, but for him as a CEO, I wish other CEOs would follow that, because he's like, look, I'm going to cut my salary.
Oh, that was
I
the
need
best
to give
thing.
you what you want.
Nobody's
What
worse
it
than
is you cut.
Activision, man. No one's worse than Activision.
Absolutely, because it's like, oh man, we made a gross profit of 1.2 whatever. I'm not going to follow the numbers, but we're just going to fire 800 people
Yeah.
for some reason. I was like, cool, skeleton crew. I like that. Killing off your resources is fun.
Don't support Activision. For the love of
I want to
God.
get your reactions on a couple more things. Now, Apple announced today, ironically, Tuesday, or was it? No, sorry, Monday. They announced that they're now going to add PlayStation and Xbox controller support to their iOS and Apple TV.
Finally,
About time.
What's your feeling on iOS though, anyways?
I
Cause
sleep.
What? What's up?
I sleep.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan
I
of
am
iOS.
probably the only one with an iOS device, and that is one thing that I will say. There is plenty of games on there that I would have played more
But
if I would have had at least a handheld controller.
it's like what?
But it's nothing.
But guess what? Apple didn't get my money. Got it from a pawn shop. But when it came to iPods, strong interface, strong everything. It's all good. But they phased that out, so I'm not gonna buy another one.
No, but yeah. No,
I mean, but do the ports feel good on iOS?
It depends on the game.
Yeah.
I will say it really depends on the game. Not every game on the iOS is gonna be a really strong game.
No.
Where it looks there's.
Trust me, I
graphics.
realized that whenever I was trying to find a good copy of Final Fantasy VI, where they were like, you're either buying a Super Nintendo or an old Game Boy
Absolutely.
Advance, which are still both extremely expensive.
I'm still trying to find one for you. I
got one.
Oh, you did? Because
Yeah.
I was like, I almost lucked out. There was one that was $20, but the thing is, the hinge was like, ugh. I was like, oh, come
I
on.
actually
man.
got one at this that retro gaming store on Kingsley.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Video Game Rescue.
No, I don't think it's Video Game Rescue.
No,
Really?
that's another one. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's right.
You're talking about.
It's right next to the.
Gaming.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
look, man, I got it.
Yeah, so I got the Game Boy from them, but I had to buy Final Fantasy VI online because I called every single gaming store in Jacksonville and nobody had Final Fantasy VI.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm just like, shoot, I might want to find it on GameStop. I might find it cheap.
I don't even think. Maybe they do. I don't fucking know.
No, they like to drop on prices. They are very bad. At
I did
sleeping
check-
on prices.
I did check GameStop locally to see if they had any in stock, and they did not.
Oh no! You have to check online.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I don't think
lottery.
they keep anything in stock. I know that they.
But then again, I'm never
often
going to
get
support
take
GameStop, so
games
it's
in,
whatever.
True.
But I don't think they stock them.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and back to the episode a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, E3 2019.
So, any closing thoughts for E3? Anything that you're still looking forward to see? Something that you're not excited about? Anything at all?
No.
So I think we kind of covered everything.
No.
For the
Yeah.
most part, we did.
Absolutely.
There were multiple tangents, but we did touch up on everything.
Well, we didn't really talk about Stadia too much. I mean, we mentioned it.
mentioned
They're
it,
supposed to
but
talk
But we
about
also
it some
don't
more.
know much about it either.
But it's like, what's your feeling on that? It's like, how do you? Because
I'm
the thing
very
is, like,
interested.
everything is going to be server side. So basically, you just like click into what they have, and you're able to just download through that. I mean, you're not download, but you're able to just stream the games through them. But the thing is like, you also have to have a really good internet connection.
Absolutely, because I'm not a Wi-Fi warrior.
Supposedly enough, you're supposed to be able to do it with a 25 megabyte per second connection.
I'll
So
tell
you're
you
not even gonna
something.
need to have that big of a connection.
It's-
Granted, the more speed you have, the better it's going to look.
Absolutely.
But
I'll tell you something though, that I played Final Fantasy 14 and MMO with, first of all, they just released something that said that they have 16 million users. That is not true. They have maybe 500,000. They have 16 million accounts.
Yep.
but they have about 500,000 users.
Yep, I
Active
agree.
users.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is going to grow because the next expansion's coming out. People are just taking a break, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, stop! Don't do that, Square Enix. It's very,
won't listen.
it's very shitty.
They won't listen.
Yoshi P's my man. He will listen if you tell him things. The one good thing about FF14 is that they actually listen to their fan base.
And just like that is true on that one. And just like I trust Yoko Taro I trust him more because on the lewd side he was like, "Hey guys, I'm a man of good taste. Give me all your 2Bs." He's like, "And I'll post them up for you." I was like, "Wow, he got a slew of them." He actually has his own folder. So when the actual alternate skin of Soul Calibur 6 came out, he's like, "I need you to give me the 2P version." And I was just like, I can trust this man absolutely because he's like us. He's downright dirty, but he gives me what I want. It's just like even when he does the developments of games, he's just like, look, I put it in there because they exist. I can go into that all day. I will close that door because Nier is fantastic and it's way too deep for it to be.
I still have not.
But going back to the original point is that I played the MMO at extremely low internet connection.
Yeah.
And I'm still able to very easily play it.
It's good.
I have no issues whatsoever. In this, my connection speed will have to be about 25 times more than what I'm already using to even be able to use their service. It's like in one article, they suggested 40 megabytes per second.
Oh, wow. You see, and that's where the discrepancy
And
comes.
I'm like...
how is that service going to be viable?
And I'm like... So people are going to have to pay $80, $90 a month for internet just to be able to play your service?
And if it's Comcast, and the majority of that is on the west side,
And as soon as they announce that service, what's the internet companies going to do? Just increase their prices because it's not a service that internet is not something that you need to be able to survive. I don't think that there's anything like the Better Business Bureau or anyone could actually do if they just decide to spike up the price because now a new video game service is making it a demand to have a higher speed. Mm-hmm. There's nothing stopping them from doing that.
Oh, absolutely. It sucks. That's the whole thing.
It's like people are like, well, it's not that expensive for internet or whatever. It's like, that's all you have to have. And I'm like, but as soon as they make it a demand, it will be.
But see, that's
Welcome
what
to our
happened.
TED Talk on net neutrality.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing when it came to the internet. Actually, no, just with DLC. You're right, because DLC, it was just like, okay, it's optional. But then when they started taking stuff out more and more, we were in the 7th generation for 10 years. So if you were 10 and bought the console, and now you're at the next gen, you're at 20. So you're already thinking that, hey, well, DLC is just a regular thing. I'll put $1 here, I'll put $2 here. It's that, it's not really gaslighting. It's just like, you're just conditioning them.
Well, you're moving the norm.
But
you're
that's
moving the norm. It's a
but
new
that
norm.
even goes back to big games that still take 200-300 people to even make it 100,000 man hours to be able to create a game. It's costing people more money to make AAA titles. So yeah, they have to put in these DLCs for the game.
Sadly.
Because paying $60 for a game isn't making these people money. Paying $60 plus the $30 for the season pass is just a little bit more. That's an additional, that's 150% markup on the game, and that's what they basically need to be able to keep supporting themselves and keep bringing titles out, because developers aren't going to keep developing for a console if they're not going to make money off of it.
Yeah, it's just like, when
you're never going to get the game that you want.
When I worked in computers, it was just like, hey, if they buy this computer, they're essentially losing $18. Adding on like a mouse, keypad, anything at all actually spikes up that profit as well, even the protection plan as well. So I totally get why. At the end of the day, it's business. They have to do it. It sucks, but I'm okay with it. But when they start getting dirty with it, and that's when I'm like, I'm not okay with that at all.
It's like, think about it back in the day. 20, 30 years ago, it still cost $40, $50 for a video game.
Yes, it did.
If you're looking at inflation compared to today, that's still like $100 for the game. It's like $40 was more money back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now games still relatively cost just a little bit more than that, but it's cheaper.
Yeah,
I make $60 in less than 9.
Let's think about that one.
Mega Man X3, perfect example.
$60 working too much.
Limited game, $80. That's what it was when it first came out. It was limited print, $80. Now, I mean, it's $300 now, but whatever.
Yeah, but that's
what game is that?
Mega Man X3, when it actually first came out, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, games never used to be that expensive. Like, no. If you go in that Sears catalog from the 90s, those games were like past $60.
It's like
$90, $100.
It's like you don't remember because you were fucking 10 years old.
Yep, and I understand that now.
And you were
And
paying
you
for
had
them.
no idea of money.
Exactly, and you weren't paying for that. Your parents were.
I'm telling
It's
you.
like I remember the most expensive games that I had. It's like probably the cheaper games because I was like a Nintendo Game Boy dude. So it's like my games were still like $30-$40, but I'm like, it's for a little cartridge that probably had like realistically like maybe 10 hours of gameplay to
And
it
sometimes it
that
wasn't
you
even that good,
managed
but
to
you
do like
liked it.
80. What was that?
And sometimes it might have been a game that nobody likes, but you like it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why is this thing so high in price? It's a crappy game. Why is it $300? But yeah, no,
Because just limited copies. I'm sorry.
You're
Just,
good. You're good. But sadly, we do have timeline that we need to meet. The episode's already been going for almost an hour now.
nice.
Yes.
it's been going for a little bit over an hour. It's
It's been a nice long episode, guys.
about 80 minutes.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Now, if you're brand new to the show, we usually have a segment called the Cheat Code of the Week, the Gaming Cheat Code of the Week. This week, we don't have one because, again, we're prepping for E3. So, before we go, I did want to give you guys any chance to plug anything you wanted to recommend, anything out there, your own personal channel, whatever. Is there anything you want to plug, Billy?
You should listen to us on Ctrl+C. We do a movie podcast with Chris and I and I don't know, like 3 or 4 of the people. I don't know who's in our podcast. Whoever decides to show up. But yeah, we do a movie podcast where we just rate and review movies. We're goofy and silly. Yeah, just
Check us out on
come
podcast
visit.
services everywhere.
Yeah, come visit us on that.
And
Are
to hear
there?
more of his interesting takes on things?
Yeah, if you, I mostly pick horror movies. So
Nice.
if you want an interesting take on horror movies, and if you want to hear my perspective on it or Chris's perspective on it, who never sees horror movies, then it's
You
an
can make them one
interesting
of my
conversation.
They're comedy to me.
At
I can see that.
one point that was to my issue too.
Me too.
They weren't scary. They were just more comedic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
Check
just
us out every Monday.
it's a good time.
Yes, it is. Brandon.
And see, for me, well, I've been streaming a lot, and like I know you guys actually had a segment of what game you played. Right now, I'm currently playing the ish out of Monster Hunter World.
Oh yeah, sorry. With all the tangents and stuff, I forgot to ask if you guys were playing.
No, you're totally fine.
Oh,
Like,
did you do the Final Fantasy 14 crossover event for that?
I cry every time when we go in there. It's like, yeah, we're gonna do the Final Fantasy 14. I'm like, cool. Let me go get the one weapon I suck at because I need to be behind the shield.
Trust me,
90% of
the
time.
event for the Rathalos fight for Final Fantasy 14 is dumb. It's the worst fight in the entire game. Not because it's hard, just because it's stupid. There's no aggro table because I guess that's what Monster Hunter World is.
All it is just like, hey man, take them down.
So it's
Whatever
just
you
like-
got, sharpen your weapon.
So it's just like he's just going to target whomever. It doesn't matter. And that's only the first half of the fight. The second half of the fight, you're not allowed to heal yourself, but they give you like 10 healing potions.
Oh yeah, they
That
did.
you have to-
See, that's what they did. They switched the interface because now we have the Final Fantasy 14 version. Which I'm like, look, guys, I haven't played this kind of format since Final Fantasy 12. I don't know what's going on. I'm panicking. Please stop. It's like because there's unblockables, and he has more unblockables. I can't hide behind this rock, dude.
It's interesting that you say that too, because Final Fantasy 14 is based off of the same world as Final Fantasy 12.
Absolutely. I look at them just like, that's why I'm
Yeah.
not playing it. I'm not doing it. But like, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I have 2 versions. It's TaoFury, one with a 0 and one with this a little lowercase o. There's one that's not safe for work and one for safe for work for all those people who can't stomach what I have. And like, don't worry, it's going to get relatively worse within time. And then also I stream. It depends on the day. I don't really have a schedule like that, but I usually get on for like 2 or 3 hours. But it's real underscore talk underscore gameplay. So real talk gameplay if you look on Twitch. And yeah, we're very colorful. Like I am very professional today, but when you go on that stream, I am not very professional, and so are my friends, and it's just a beautiful time.
Right on. Ricky, anything?
Come join me on Elder Scrolls Online.
All right. If you're playing Elder Scrolls Online on PC,
Do you have a Discord?
PC.
Do you have a Discord for it?
Well,
I mean, I'm not going to join
I
it.
have a Discord. Well, we actually created one.
we
for
have a
Gaming
Discord
Dad.
and we
So
have
yes,
it for Gaming Dad. We just
have
don't
one for
use
But I
it.
mean, okay, so you have a Discord for Gaming Dad, but do you have a Discord for Elder Scrolls Online? Do you have
No.
like a community that you play with?
No, I do not. I am currently playing solo in the game.
Ooh, that's lonely.
Damn, dude.
Hey,
He just
I mean,
got into an MMO,
I
man. He
only
doesn't
play it
know.
a handful of times.
You do
for
realize you can play
20,
with other
30 minutes
people,
at a
right?
time. Well, I understand, but I don't have the time to be able to play with a bunch of people.
I mean, I got a Discord for my Phantasy Star Online, but haven't been there in a while because I got a little burnt out because I'm like, I love Phantasy Star. That's my favorite MMO of all time. I don't care what anybody says. You see, but at the end of the day, like, yeah, I haven't gotten to my Discord, and there's probably 30 people in there now. So it's just like I'm starting to get my community out there, and it's just like, all right, cool. I'll come back and be like, hey guys, I'm streaming again. I'm so sorry. It's just like watch me, not feed my mag properly for the uptake time, and getting my friend absolutely pissed. He's like, why are you feeding this thing trash? It's just like, I don't know. No one taught me when I was younger, so. Here's a sausage filled with Cheeto grease. Who cares?
All right, so let's go ahead and also as a final reminder, we are again the schedule for E3 coverage. Sunday doing Microsoft for 3:30. We'll go live. Bethesda. We're gonna plan to go live at 8 p.m. on Sunday as well, and we're gonna be doing reactions to other conferences. We'll let you know if those change and when those are gonna be coming out. Again, over on our Facebook group. Facebook.com/GamingDad101. It's over there somewhere. There you go.
Yeah, cool, right, baby.
Yeah. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe by hitting the button over there if you're watching us on YouTube. And once again, thank you for joining us. Make sure to check us out on Twitter, GeekEnd Cast. You can follow me at VisXen. You can follow Ricky at Picky Gamer Dad. Thank you very much for joining us, Billy and Brandon, and you guys. We will see you on the next episode. I'm not going to say next Wednesday because again, no episode.
Wait.